Hey, how's it going everyone? It's me, it's Jinsula. I hope you're having a good day. Welcome to today's Pokemon Go video. And today we're going to be doing a raid guide video on Mega Heracross. This is going to be the latest Mega Evolution to debut in Pokemon Go. And it's going to be through a raid day, which means you can get all of the Mega Energy that you need in order to do its Mega Evolution, all within one day. Now when it comes to Mega Heracross, it's not necessarily going to be top tier when it comes to Mega Evolutions. There are going to be better options that will be released later in the future, but there's also a lot of good options that are much better than it right now. I'm going to get more into that later, but first let's go over how you could defeat this Mega Evolution raid boss. Mega Heracross is a fighting and bug type Mega Evolution, which means, of course, it's going to have a double weakness to flying types and a regular weakness to fairy, fire, and psychic type damage. The perfect IVs for Mega Heracross is going to be 1772, and if it's weather boosted, it's going to be 2215. Mega Heracross is going to be weather boosted by rainy weather and cloudy weather. Now, the amount of trainers that you need to bring to a Mega Heracross raid is going to vary. If you're around level 35, then make sure you have at least 3 to 4 other trainers in the raid party, and that should secure you the win. But if you want to challenge yourself, make sure you are level 40 at least, with all of your Pokemon being about level 40, and have about 3 trainers. You could do it with a lot less, considering that Mega Heracross does have a double weakness, but this is quite tanky compared to most other Mega Evolutions, so do keep that in mind when you're trying to complete this raid with the least number of trainers as possible. You may need a couple of other trainers in order to securely take it down. Now, let's talk about the counters for Mega Heracross. First and foremost, there is Mega Rayquaza. This is going to be by far the absolute best counter going up against Mega Heracross, so make sure you use it during these raids. Make sure you have the flying type moves for this Pokemon as well, because Mega Heracross is double weak to flying. That also includes other great flying types like regular Rayquaza, Shadow Moltres, Shadow Honchkrow, and Shadow Staraptor. All of these Pokemon are insanely good against Mega Heracross. Now, let's say you do not have any of these legendaries and Shadow Pokemon, then you can go with Mega Pidgeot as your Mega Evolution, and then you can go with regular Honchkrows as well as regular Staraptors. As long as you're bringing flying type damage, you're going to be okay going up against Mega Heracross. Alright, so is Mega Heracross worth going after? Is this a Mega Evolution raid that you should farm up? Well, yes and no. When it comes to Mega Heracross, it is actually a really good bug type raid attacker. In fact, I would consider it the absolute best right now. But when it comes to fighting types, it is not going to be good at all. There is going to be a far superior Mega Evolution that will be released in the game pretty soon, and there's also a current Mega Evolution that is much better than Mega Heracross when it comes to fighting types. That one is, of course, Mega Blaziken. Now, there are benefits to using Mega Pinsir as opposed to Mega Blaziken when it comes to raids, and that is the fact that it has a much higher TDO, or total damage output. Specifically, that means even though it deals less DPS, it will last much longer in battle, and that makes sense considering that Mega Blaziken is a glass cannon. But Mega Blaziken deals an insane amount of damage compared to Mega Heracross when it comes to fighting type raid damage, and that is something you should definitely keep in mind. And then when it comes to bug types, there's only Mega Pinsir and Mega Beedrill as other options, and I would actually say that Mega Heracross is far superior to both of these Pokemon when it comes to raids. Of course, there's not going to be many instances where you're going to be using bug types to begin with, but if you do need to use a bug type, the absolute best choice is definitely going to be Mega Heracross. The reason for that is because it has a little bit higher of a DPS stat compared to Mega Pinsir, and then the TDO is much higher as well. This is definitely a Mega Evolution that you should have ready in case you need a good bug type. But aside from that, that's basically it. It's not going to be useful in other aspects of Pokemon Go. Like, it might be decent for PvP if you are allowed Mega Evolutions, but in those cases you will likely want to go with Mega Evolutions that are legendaries, like Mega Rayquaza, or Primal Groudon, or Primal Kyogre. I would say that Mega Heracross is decent. It's definitely one you should go after if you have the opportunity to do so, and it's definitely going to be useful in certain situations. But in the future, when Mega Lucario comes out, that's going to be the best option when it comes to fighting types. And then of course with bug types, it's not necessarily something you often need, but if you do need it, it would be good to have Mega Heracross on the ready. But yeah, with that said, that's going to be it for this video. Now, share your thoughts regarding Mega Heracross down below in the comments. Is this a Mega Evolution that you are going to be going after? Is it one that you plan to use? Definitely share why down below, and let's have a great discussion. And as always, thank you so much for making it to this point in the video. If you ended up enjoying it, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe if it's your first time here. And also don't forget that little bell so you can stay up to date on whenever I upload videos. And I want to give a quick shout out to every single patron on my Patreon. You all make this channel content possible. If you want to support the Jinsula channel, the absolute best way you could do so is by becoming a paid patron on my Patreon. If you do so, you get a permanent spot on my in-game Pokemon GO friends list. So if you want to interact with me in some way within Pokemon GO, like with remote raids or the friendship system, then make sure you go and check out my Patreon. Also, if you want to support my channel in a very different way that doesn't involve spending money, the best free way to do so is of course following me on my social media pages. My handle is @Jinsula, and I'm on the platforms that you see on screen. Alright, and with that said, that's going to be it. I'm Jinsula. Be safe, have fun, love yourself, and I'll catch you all later.